what I'm doing today is cleaning out the front of the vents of my AC in the middle of the van here, and there's 3 points of screws. I've got a different video that I've showed you, me pulling this whole thing apart in a different van, and there was no front vents. I did the other side already, and there is little vents, kind of like fly screen vents in the front that collect all the dust, so it's easy to clean. So I'll show you on mine on this side here while I do this side. You've got 3 screws, you've got 1, 2 and 3 there to get out, and once that's done, the top pulls down to unclip from the bottom. There's 3 points in the bottom as well that unclips from. So I'll get those screws out and I'll show you how that comes out there. So I've got those 3 screws out. You can see it comes loose pretty easy. You got to just push it up out of these clips. Just trying to do this with one hand. I don't want to force it too much. There you go, just came out. And now in there, you can see there, well, you would be able to, because I can see partly in the camera. See, it's all dusty, but I've got the cover there that's going over the top. I'll get that out. It's in by a couple of clips around the area. Look around the other way and look with yours. Now the other side, I didn't bother about putting it back in the clips, but so you got the clip there that's sitting behind, and there's another one up the end here, which on the other side of the van, that side's pretty hard to get to. So you can see she's pretty dusty in there. How not effective this would be, although I can feel a lot of air coming out the other side. It's probably just air mainly. Without that part functioning properly, it's not as cold as it could be. So yeah, I'll get this out. And those clips, just pick them up a little bit. Slide that out. See how easy that comes out there? It's the top ones that are really hard to get to. So I'll just pull that out. See that there? Let's take that out. And this one over at the side here. And that's what's left behind there. So what I use is a bit of fly screen that I've got to put back in that area, which I'll show you in a second when I put it all back together. So right now I'm going to give this a wash with fresh water, and I'll cut a bit of fly screen out that I've got that will cover this whole area here to prevent that from happening and having to get a brush in there to clean all that out. So basically what I'm doing with the brush is just doing the best I can, brushing it down towards me, get as much as I can out. We don't want to damage this area. There's little sleeves, I'll call them for now, are easy to bend if you push down on them, so you don't want to do that. You just lightly brush the dust off, get as much as you can get. And once I finish doing all that, I'll put it back together and I'll show you what I'll do with the fly screen. That's it there, all cleaned up. That's what I mean by just a bit of just ordinary fly screen wire there. Basically what I'm going to do is, once I put the original bit back in, I'm just going to slide that in there with it. So should be able to do this with one hand. No, it's a bit tricky with one hand, but anyway, I'll get her in and I'll show you. Okay, so she's cleaned up as much as I could get to it up in that area there, but that's bent nice and clean there now, and just put this little bit of focus. Come on. There we go. So a bit of fly screen there just to catch any of the stuff that goes up there next time, so just to pull it out and clean it instead of getting to it with a brush. And that's pretty much it. Back one's on. Yeah, I can feel, I can't feel a real big difference in the fan blowing, but I can feel a difference. Like I said before, it's probably just blowing mostly fresh air because it had to cycle around those vents because of all the dust. So that's that bit done. So yeah. Get this other bit back in. I'll show you the back part of it, how I made. So there's actually 4 little clips there, and you can see on here all those little clips that it goes onto. So that's the little clips you need to feed it onto first. If you figure it in, that's it. Put that 3 screws back in. Job's done. I made a video about this part once before, that I said it looks like this bottom part can come off, and that I'll get to it one day to have a look. Well, today is the day. I am doing the air vents in the center air conditioning. I thought I'll see if I can find one in the front. I've taken a clip off here, the 2 screws at the front, clip on the other side. Tried to get it with a screwdriver to wedge it open and so forth. I can't get to it, and I noticed that on both sides there's a section there that looks like another screw is in, but there's no possible way to get that screw out without taking this whole mechanism out. Now, possible, just maybe, you could take the blower out from the other side and get to that there from the other side of the firewall. I doubt it, honestly. It wouldn't make it that much effort to go through just to take that bottom plate off. And if you did go through that much effort, you'd never put those back screws back in. So going to the back of the back into the under the hood, under the bonnet, working this part here out. Now you got your fan down here, and it's sucking air in. So the air comes, the air's going in and down and underneath. So that bottom part down there that I was just trying to get to, you'd assume that all air travels to that area first before going out through the air conditioning or heating, whatever. Makes more sense if you had a filter right on the top here. So when this flap comes down and it's cycling the air from inside, or the flap's open and you're getting the air from outside, it goes through the filter first. Now, what looks like is possible is that there could be a round filter inside there. Now there's screw holes, or screws rather, on this plate that can come out, and just maybe possible there's a filter inside there. So again, I'm not going to do that today. I've actually got to put my car back together now. I need it for later on tonight. But it doesn't look like too hard to get this top cover off here. Got a bolt there, under this cable. Got a bolt at the top there, and that's this side done. You got a bolt here and a bolt there that needs to be undone to release the reservoir. And you got the bar here that's supported onto this bolt here, so that needs to, this bolt here would need to be undone. Then undo that top bolt there, and then you'll be able to get this whole plastic part off. And once you do that, then you can get to the screws, take that plate there off, and have a look what's inside there. And if there's no filter inside there, you just think that, knowing with, well, over the existence of cars, you'd want to put a filter in. So what I'm going to do today, I'm just going to get some fly screen, I'm going to put it over the front here, I'm going to get this vent, well, that's what I'll call it for now, and I'll slide it back over, so that'll stop any bugs and so forth getting into the car. But you can see, I've got dust built up here. Now obviously that's just on the surface here. It's going further in, and I need to know, well, I want to find out to what point, whereabouts it's going further in. Like, there's just got to be a filter somewhere that's stopping all this stuff. And like, when I'm driving on a dusty road, I'm not getting dust blowing in my face inside the car, so something is stopping it. If anybody else has actually got one of these out of the car, I'd love to share your images or whatever you have to show everybody, you know, how this is put together, because it's just it's got me puzzled on how this is filtering here. If I don't find anything next winter, that's Australia winter that is, and I get myself back down to the wreckers, I think I'll rip one of these out of the vans down there and pull it apart myself. So I'll just put this cover on so you can see what I do here and call it a day, eh? Okay, so that's just before I push it in. So you can see the fly screen is well surrounded. I've got a bit of overhang, so when I push it in, it'll close basically like that. So it all holds in tight. Put the screws in, and that will, if we can get the right angle here, and that will stop any bugs or anything else like that getting in, but it won't stop the dust. So that's something to explore still. But anyway, we accomplished something today. We got the center vents cleaned out, and I guess just have to keep checking back to see when I've been to the wreckers and pulled one out and see what it's made of. Again, unless somebody's already done it and they can share a little bit of some footage with us or some photos or anything. Alright, I think it's about it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, cheers.